Hello everyone. I am here recording this video because a class that I did time ago where I talk about bitcoins. So this is a repetition of that talk that I did like 3 weeks ago, and I want to share with you. So it has to be in English, and that is the main point. So it's a practice. Uh, I have to try to speak well English, so that is the goal, and I hope that I am doing a good work with it. So let's start. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. Let's start. I hope that you can listen well this thing.
It's a virtual currency which only exists on the internet. Bitcoin, as it's called, bypasses the traditional banking system and has become increasingly attractive as it doesn't involve exchanging currencies.
I think it's a wonderful time to buy Bitcoin. You can actually buy a fraction of a Bitcoin, so you don't have to go in and buy $10,000+ on a whole coin. But you can actually just buy $100, $50 worth of a Bitcoin. It'd be a great stocking stuffer.
It is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
In a microsecond, whoop, like that. 99.999% of the people that own Bitcoin are fucking morons. Retarded, imbeciles. That's just it.
I mean, I think cryptocurrency and thus Bitcoin is really the future of the financial system and the future of currency. So I try to.
I think Bitcoin is probably a good thing, but I think it's primarily going to be a means of doing illegal transactions.
You shouldn't expect it to go up. It's kind of a pure greater fool theory type investment.
Now that said, I'm curious for your thoughts here, because Tesla could potentially make more money from its Bitcoin investment this year than profits from electric cars in all of 2020. What's your take on that? What's your Bitcoin take, and the fact that the price can just go up or down based on a simple tweet from him?
Wow. So that is Bitcoin. So from different topics that I could choose about Bitcoin, I decided to choose this one, probably because this is you will be more interested about it. Is that should we buy Bitcoin? And to be short, the answer is depends, and probably not. So this talk is going to explain why this conclusion, and I'm also going to give you some advice of what you could do with your money too. So as a summary, I'm going to explain why is Bitcoin. Probably many people already know about it, but it's good to remember that. What is the current use of Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin was made with a purpose, and the current purpose is different to what people are doing with Bitcoin now. Who is buying Bitcoin? That is also very interesting. Who are the people that want to buy Bitcoin, and why? That is interesting to know. And should I invest in Bitcoin? That is the point of this talk, to finally give you some final thought about it. So, what is Bitcoin? Well, it has been sold like a promise of revolution of the money, like a kind of evolution from a gold, paper, credit cards transaction to Bitcoin. So it's the future. That is some people say. But is that true? Let's check it. So Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency. So is a currency, so you can sell and buy things with it in some way. It's digital. What means in the internet. Living in internet without internet is not going to be alive. And what is more interesting, and probably what makes this currency special, is that there is no any bank at all, or country, organization that really control it. So it's decentralized, and that is what makes this thing special. So how is this possible? How is it possible to this currency exist? So use three technologies: P2P, cryptography, and blockchain. That are the main technologies that really use. Peer-to-peer is a way to share information and data between computers. One example of that technology is uTorrent. So probably maybe you know about it. You can get some legal and not very legal data with that. Cryptography, and that is a science in some way. It's a study of trying to know how send secure communications. It's relatively old. Has evolved. Is evolving, and one good example is the Enigma machine. The how try to break it, or how you have to codify it, and the last thing is that is new is blockchain. Blockchain in some way are information of tables of information of text of transactions that evolve through time and are all connected like a chain. So you can think like kind of Google Doc, like you have information of all the transactions that have been made and it's shared for to everyone, and everyone wants someone make a change in it. This file create another file that is the new version that everyone is going to see it, and it's available to everyone. By the way, and then if someone want to make a new version with new information, have to do another version that also link to the previous one. So try to keep all make sense. So with three technologies, Bitcoin was born. But something interesting is that Bitcoin is not the first. It's not the sorry. Oh, I have to read this part. So Bitcoin is not the only one. Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency that exists here. There are more than 2 generations. But Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency that exists. There are more. And also, we could say there are currently 3 generations of cryptocurrencies. Maybe some people know more about that, or have heard about that. For example, Litecoin, Ethereum, Doge, ADA. Some are some examples. And we could classify like first generation. Bitcoin is the first one. Second generation, Ethereum. You can add more information in transaction. It's more than a coin, and the third generation that use other methods to try to make that coin secure. Because one of the big problem that cryptocurrency has is that they use a lot of energy, in particular Bitcoin, and that have been discussed like a problem for the environment. But the last generation doesn't have that problem. But why someone will create, or a group of people will create this virtual currency? Well, this starts with a problem of trust with the government, and that came from the financial crisis of 2008, where when there was a big collapse in the stock market, also in the family incomes. That was really bad. But the government rescued the banks that at the beginning that were the source of the problem on that moment with some credits, and that produced a lot of untrust to the government, especially because the government have the power to manipulate the economy and the currency to save those banks. And one effect that can produce, and is something that is affecting now, is inflation. When you start to printing a lot of money, you are printing like value from air, and there is nothing really that support it. It's normal that the price of things increase, because what is going on is that the value of the dollar or the pesos is decreasing over time. So some people sell Bitcoin like a way to solve this problem, because Bitcoin is finite. You cannot print more Bitcoins. It's defined from the beginning. But it does really works. So for a currency that works, it needs some elements, and there are two problems that the Bitcoin has that have some very big issues. One is the price is not stable. So over time, probably you have heard about it, and what have become so popular is that having growing price a lot, from $1 to currently like $50,000, and that is not good if you want to sell things with that currency. You will prefer to just keep to yourself and not using to buy and sell things. The second one is that the price is not stable. What I mean, the price goes up and down, with frequently, and some down can be more than 50%, and that is not something for everyone, especially if you want to get your money soon. And the last thing is about the number of transactions that you can do per second. How many information that can handle that someone send money to another person in every second, and the limit by construction was 20 transactions per second because security reasons. But something that is centralized, like credit cards, can have the power to transfer more than 24,000 transactions per second. So there is a big difference here. So if it doesn't work well as a currency, and there are other good examples, good alternatives compared to Bitcoin, why people buy Bitcoin? Well, we have people that are enthusiasts, but that's like less than 1%. At the beginning, it started like that as an experiment. Some people have found a nice use is that transfer money from one country to another, and that is because there are some barriers or restriction when you would try to send money from one country to another. Artificial restriction, by the way. And Bitcoin has become a good alternative to send money from one country to another, especially if there are some barriers, political barriers. And that is really one way to use it. But probably, as you are thinking, and the question that at the beginning starts, is that more than 90% of the people use Bitcoin as a price speculation. And then what I mean with that is that people try to buy it now to sell it later at a higher price to get a profit. And probably that is why you are asking yourself if you should buy Bitcoin or not, and then to get a profit. So let's check that. There are two things that I want to mention, that there is a difference between investment and speculation. people will say that buying Bitcoin is a kind of investment. And in some way you could argue that is true, but I will say that more than 90% again is speculation. What I mean, that the difference between investment and speculation is, well, here are many, but the most important thing that investment is focus in the fundamental factors. So what the company is doing, what is producing, what is the future of the company, what is the value of the company. Meanwhile, speculation is just thinking about how the price is going to evolve just because people are more interested, because the hearsays, because psychology of the market, etc. So there is a good example a phrase from Warren Buffett that he mentioned that the difference between an investor is that he is looking about what the asset is going to do, but the speculator that he don't like it is they care about what the price is going to do, and that is different. So, and another thing that probably also you are interested in is it a bubble, economical bubble? Probably you have heard about that. There are having many bubbles in the history of the market. A good example is the .com internet bubble. And the answer is yes and no. Okay, sorry for being ambiguous, but I think this is important to pay attention. A bubble is well characterized with a shape in the price that start low, increase a lot, is kind of exponentially grow, and then collapse very, very fast in a short amount of time. And I have been seen many times in different markets, and also you could say that Bitcoin has presented this behavior not once, 3 times at least. Here in 2014, here in 2018, and here in 2021. And the last time. So in some way, it's a kind of cycle where the people start to buy Bitcoin because they think like the price is going up, until it reaches the news and all the people are starting to talk about Bitcoin and is that you should buy new Bitcoin and that is like the enthusiasm get public, is agreed, and then get a saturation, a new paradigm, and then it collapses. But overall, the main trend of Bitcoin, how was created, having increasing price and value. So you think like a long term, like 3 or more years. You buy Bitcoin, probably in 3 or more years you will get a profit in the future. But always there is risk. Always there is a risk in any investment. So, should I invest in cryptocurrency? When I put invest, I mean like buying for a long term. Really still is a speculation, but we could say that, okay, it's invest. You will invest in cryptocurrency for a long period of time. Or some people say that be a holder. Hold the Bitcoin and don't sell it. I will say that it could work, but you have to answer yes to these 4 questions. First, do you have available money that you are not going to use for more than 3 years? Then, can you tolerate high price fluctuation that your investment can decrease like a half of the price in some moment, and don't become desperate and sell it because you don't want to lose even more? And did you reserve on a project to invest in? Especially you are thinking to buy another cryptocurrency that don't have the problem with the environment, because there are a lot of scams, by the way. And are you are you willing to lose money? Because at the end could something happen like Bitcoin become banned in different countries and then it's useless. So if all of them is yes, yeah, that is a good kind of investment that could work. But if any of them is a no, it's definitely not a good option for you. But even more people, how I will say, 90% of the people that also buy a Bitcoin don't buy it for a long term. They buy for a short term. They try to buy and sell even between a one day. And that is just speculation, clear speculation, or what some people say be a trader. Like checking the price constantly, thinking that now is the price is low, buy it now, and then seeing that the price is not high, it should sell, and doing constantly to get the best profit of it. And I will say that if you want to do that, you also have to answer the same questions, but I will add these two more. Do you have or no, and are you applying a trade strategy? I mean, a technical analysis of the price that it's not like a guess, it's like you have some mathematical tools to know when is a good moment to buy or sell, and are you managing your risk? And that, because at the end is what that you have to do. And also, are you willing to check the graph with frequently? I mean, what really I mean, are you willing to spend a lot of time of your life checking the price, seeing that what is going on, and check opportunities? And then another job. Is that yes? Okay, be a trader also could be an option, very risky option, but an option. But otherwise, again, it's a no. So if you are doing this and you are not considering all these problems and just buying because someone else tell you that you should buy Bitcoin and thinking that you will become rich in the next year, you're going to lose the money. I mean, at the end, it's just a bad bet. But so to close it, Bitcoin is a controversial invention that is not nowadays used for what was thought, and it's more like kind of casino game where many people, a lot of people, is spending money on something that really not understand. It still has a lot of potential, but maybe people don't know what they are doing. Okay, with that, I finished my talk, but also because I don't have any limits on the time, and also, well, I have like 22 minutes now, and I also want to talk a little more because this is a big topic, and I want to share more information about it. Another thing is that should I invest in something else? I mean, okay, it's not a good idea really to invest in Bitcoin because the conditions that I mentioned are not for everyone. But should you invest in something? And that is yes, definitely. Not in Bitcoin, but in something that more with a low risk, like index, like normal safes, or in some way is something obligatory with AFP, but at the end always it is better to save money and not spend all your money that you are earning every day, because what also is a big error, a mistake in this system, the capitalist system, that a lot of people fall in it, is in debt. Debt is the opposite of investment. When you start to use a lot of credit cards, you pay everything with credits. You also are thinking to, okay, I have to buy the new cell phone, and or iPhone, and you ask for a 12 how do they call it, quotas. Well, I forgot it. And so at the end you finish to pay it when the news another new cell phone appear, and what you end in paying is obsolete. It doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, and also the business of banks is not really have an account that you put your money there. The business of bank is that you get debt. That is really it, and that is the reason why they are offering so many credit cards or credit, and they invent this game of points and discounts, and at the end it's just are kind of trapped to for example, they increase the price of a product and then they sell it with a normal price, but if you just pay with your credit card. There are tricks. And also, well, that's it. But also, I want to mention too that talking about scams, if you are also still interested in cryptocurrencies, you have to avoid some scams. What I mean, there are meme coins or coins that doesn't have any value itself. There is no project, there is no research. That just 100% speculation. That then are scam. One example are Doge, Shiba, and SafeMoon. All are scams. So try to avoid them. Also, there are some exchanges, places that you can buy and sell Bitcoin or other currencies that also are scams. There are places that there is no guarantee that there is really a big company in charge of it, and they can steal all your money too. And that happen more than people would like to happen. And also, there is market manipulation, like that also happen in every market, but in cryptocurrencies even is worse. And what good example is Elon Musk with its Twitter account that saying, okay, I like Bitcoin, then I don't like Bitcoin, then I like Bitcoin, and he proves that the price increase and then decrease significantly. And obviously he have buy and sell in advance, so he can make profit with it and in advance. And finally, and what I think could be the most dangerous aspect of Bitcoin, is another currency that not many people are talking about, and that is the Tether. Tether is a stablecoin that's supposed to be like supported or related to dollars. So one Tether is $1. So the company that invented this cryptocurrency, they say that every time that someone buys the Tether, he are going to put that money in one place and to support it. And at the beginning, this looks like a good idea, like another option to buy and sell Bitcoins. But the reality, as always happen, they in some way invent printing money machines, and they start to there are some evidence that they have abused that, and they are not supporting the amount of money that they claim to support. So, well, with that, I want to finish this talk. And you have any question, please put some comments in any, I don't know, in some place. Well, and with that, I want to finish this. So, goodbye to everyone.